I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translators Association. That's the special district association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station, so if there's a news event or story or information that you would like to share, you can call us and leave a message at 970-677-4119. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Tuesday program for April 28th, 2020, DCTV Daily News. The Durango Herald's report on Governor Polis's Monday announcements and warnings that if things change, we could be right back in a stay-at-home order. Governor Jared Polis said Monday that Colorado is counting on its residents to make the new safer-at-home response to the new coronavirus work as restrictions on people's movement begin to lift this week. And if they don't, and the disease begins to spread out of control, the state would consider imposing severe restrictions, including reinstating the statewide stay-at-home order, he said. Quote, "If we slack off, if Coloradans let up, if less people are wearing masks when they're in public, if stores aren't being careful and personal services aren't being careful about following the guidelines that we put out today, then it's likely that additional restrictions might have to come back," Polis said. "Our gains will be lost. This great sacrifice that Coloradans have made will have been for nothing if we can't continue and maintain the social distancing needed," end quote. The governor said his staff will be watching infection rates and hospitalizations closely to ensure that COVID-19, the disease caused by the coronavirus, stays manageable. Quote, "We're going to be watching the data every single day," Polis said at a briefing with reporters in the Colorado Capitol. "If the numbers begin to climb at an unsustainable rate, then we're likely to have to go backwards rather than forward. It's really up to the individual choices, the informed decision the people of Colorado make." Polis's statewide stay-at-home order expired on Sunday, the 26th, and a safer-at-home period began on Monday. Retail businesses, salons, tattoo parlors, and offices can begin to reopen with social distancing precautions over the next week. About half of the state's population will remain under a stay-at-home order until at least May 8th. However, after officials in Denver, Adams, Arapahoe, Boulder, Broomfield, and Jefferson counties said it was too soon to drop the most severe restrictions. Polis has been adamant that Coloradans should continue to stay in their homes as much as possible. His safer-at-home period relies on a careful balance of social distancing adherence, mask wearing, testing, and infection tracing to prevent Colorado's healthcare system from being overwhelmed. Quote, "We're nowhere near being back to normal," he said, and the governor said Coloradans should expect more enforcement during this safer-at-home phase than there was during the stay-at-home order. Quote, "Enforcement," he said, "of the safer-at-home period is absolutely critical. Businesses that don't comply with the safer-at-home directive will be sent a cease and desist letter from the state and may lose their license to operate. Counties and cities that don't abide by the order will lose their emergency preparedness grants," Polis said. Capture the money trail. For businesses to reopen, they must have social distancing and cleaning measures in place that includes installing decals on the floors showing customers how far to stand from other patrons, ensuring their workers have masks and gloves, posting signage about personal hygiene, conducting daily temperature checks and monitoring symptoms of employees, ensuring employees can take frequent breaks to wash their hands, increasing ventilation. Businesses that offer personal services that require workers to get close to patrons, such as hair and nail salons, tattoo parlors, and personal trainers, are encouraged to take additional measures. That includes monitoring symptoms in their customers, accepting clients only by appointment, and barring walk-in patrons, and keeping a list of customers and their contact information so that if someone does become ill, infection tracing can be easily implemented. Polis said people should report businesses that are not following best practices to their local public health officials and the Colorado Attorney General's office. "We know that the people of Colorado will tell us if there's a store that's not implementing social distancing," Polis said. Polis said that through Monday, there have been at least 707 deaths related to coronavirus and more than 13,800 confirmed and probable cases. And a reminder, in Dolores County, let's keep it this way, there have been 0 cases. And in the midst of all the other food source supply chain problems that will be trickling down to your local stores very soon, that is to say, lack of meat and produce products to market, add a freeze up in Grand Junction, and the local peach crop just got wiped out too. From the Journal, Colorado's governor announced he is seeking federal aid for farmers affected by a freeze that wiped out significant portions of the state's peach crop. Democratic Governor Jared Polis said he sought the aid as a result of an April 14th freeze in Colorado's Western Slope region, the Daily Sentinel reported last Saturday. Polis and State Commissioner of Agriculture Kate Greenberg said in a statement they requested a secretarial disaster declaration from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The emergency declaration enables farms to access assistance programs, including loans with flexible repayment terms. Peaches account for 75% of fruit production in the state, with the peach industry typically producing 17,000 tons of fruit with nearly $40 million in revenue, according to figures released by Polis. Bruce Talbot with Talbot Farms in Palisades said that the freeze likely wiped out as much as 80% of normal production at the peach farm. Dennis Clark of Clark Family Orchards, another peach grower in Palisade, believes relief assistance would help some businesses. Quote, "I'm sure all growers would look into it if there's something available," he said. And from the Hill, CDC recommends social distancing for pets after some tests positive for coronavirus. A side note that it appears to be more propaganda and fear tactics, as there aren't tests enough for humans. Who's possibly testing these animals? The only high-profile testing we have seen reported is the zoo animal. So why the interest in domesticated dogs and cats if not to scare you in your home? It's up to you to decide and look into the truth of the matter, but here's their story. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, is recommending people follow the same social distancing guidelines with their pets as they would human family members after a small number of animals, including dogs and cats, were reportedly infected with the virus that causes COVID-19. CDC guidelines recommend people restrict their pets from interacting with other animals when outside their house and urge people to keep cats indoors when possible and to walk dogs on a leash while maintaining at least 6 feet from other people and animals. The CDC also calls for people to avoid dog parks or public places where a large number of people and dogs gather. If a person is sick with COVID-19, the CDC recommends avoiding contact with pets and other animals if possible. If a person must care for a pet while sick, the CDC recommends wearing a cloth face covering and washing hands before interacting with them. 159 inmates test positive for coronavirus at Miami Jail, and nearly 50 sailors aboard the USS Kidd test positive for coronavirus, as a side note. The CDC said most of the small number of animals reported to be COVID-19 positive were infected after having contact with a person with the virus, but the risk of having animals spread COVID-19 to people, quote, is considered to be low, end quote. In the United States, there is no evidence that animals are playing a significant role in the spread of COVID-19, the CDC said. A side note again, so why are they making this comment? The first case reported in the U.S. of an animal testing positive for the virus that causes COVID-19 was a tiger at the Bronx Zoo in New York earlier this month. It was followed by a report of 4 more tigers and 3 lions at the zoo testing positive. For me, and out here where we don't have close contacts at doggy parks and the like, I'm choosing to cuddle with my fur babies. And now let's take a look at the local weather. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 71 degrees, breezy with a north-northwest wind at 15 to 20 miles an hour, with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. We have a red flag warning until 8 p.m. tonight, though there is not a fire ban in place. Today is not the day, folks. There are plenty of days ahead with less winds heading into the weekend. Tuesday night, it's clear with a low around 42 tonight, breezy still with a north-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour overnight, becoming northeast after midnight. Again, breezy into Wednesday and sunny with a high near 77 degrees. Northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour become west-southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly clear and a low around 49 degrees, with west-southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour, shifting to the east-southeast after midnight. And warm again for Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 79 degrees. East-southeast winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour, shift southwest in the afternoon, and we could see some wind gusts as high as 25 miles an hour on Thursday. For Thursday night, partly cloudy and a low around 50 degrees. For Friday, sunny with a high near 78, with Friday night clear and a low around 49 degrees. For Saturday, again sunny with a high near 77. Saturday night, partly cloudy and a low around 45 degrees. And then Sunday, sunny with a high near 74 degrees. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 43. And now, back to the news. An interesting article from Fast Company on the state of social distancing and what the future of events and gatherings may have been pushed into at a faster speed than anyone expected due to the health emergency mandates. It reads, "Concerts will never be the same after COVID-19. Here's what you could wear to bring them back. This future suit wants to make it safe to go to live events again. Could this be the answer to the return of the crowd? Since the middle of March, live concerts, crowded clubs, and festivals have been non-existent. Any business that hinges on the mass gathering of people in close proximity has ground to a halt. South by Southwest, F8, Cannes, Lyon, along with every other major business, film, music, and cultural conference and festival have been canceled. Sports leagues have suspended seasons, and there isn't a clear view to when we all might once again stand shoulder to shoulder in a confined space for a collective experience of some kind." Into this uncertain future comes one creative studio with a bold idea to create tools to speed up the return of the crowd. Under normal circumstances, the Los Angeles-based production club would be designing and producing immersive experiences for the tech, gaming, and music industries. It's the firm behind Skrillex's first major touring production called The Cell, which used projection mapping and real-time gaming technology, and Amazon Web Services Intersect Music Festival this past December in Las Vegas. The shop took this shutdown moment to design what it calls, quote, the microshell, spelled MICRASHELL, a protective apparatus that allows for socializing without the distancing. Quote, "We're seeing our industry dying and it's screaming for help," says head of invention Miguel Riziano. "There are so many better-suited companies right now making things to assist healthcare, so we felt our skills could be used to help elsewhere. There aren't going to be any concerts for like a year, so we decided to try and create something to facilitate safe events somehow. The result is a colorful half suit that looks like something Dustin Hoffman and Rene Rousseau would have worn in Outbreak, if instead of being doctors, they just wanted to go to Coachella. The microshell is an airtight top suit and helmet made of tactical, high-performance, cut-resistant fabric and developed for durability, endurance, and easy disinfecting. The primary materials are based on ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene fabrics and lightweight film composites, including sealed, sewed patterns and ornaments, as well as corduroy fabric inserts. It also contains 2 lithium-ion cell battery systems for uninterrupted active operation and easy charge and swap when discharged. Quote, "The principal designing the suit was knowing this is a time-sensitive matter. Let's not pack it with sci-fi features that don't yet exist and will be roadblocks, but let's use technologies that are available to us," says Riziano. "If we don't do that, we're just navel-gazing instead of actually trying to solve a problem." 2 design features custom-built for entertainment are the drink and vaping canister supply system that allows patrons to imbibe without removing the helmet, sort of like a space-age beer helmet and hot box combo. Riziano says that they are also avoided a full body suit for practical reasons. Quote, "It would be a huge pain to have to take it off every time you needed to go to the washroom," he says. "We also tried to make sure that if you wanted to have sex, it's also something you could do," end quote. If that turns you on, settle down, Tiger. The microshell is not ready quite yet. Right now, Production Club is conducting its feasibility analysis for the future suit and talking to prospective vendors and partners about how best to get it off the ground. Quote, "We did try to be realistic with the features. We don't want this to be like the Homer Simpson car," says Riziano. "We'd also like to have third-party organizations audit the design and product and want to get the idea out there for other potential collaborators to see. If there's a way to get this made faster through working with others, we'll do it." Party on, microshell. The Sun in the UK is just one source reporting on a group of 19, quote, alien asteroids lurking between Jupiter and Neptune that may have come from another star system, according to scientists. The findings come more than 2 years after astronomers spotted the first interstellar visitor, the asteroid known as Oumuamua, which may not be an asteroid at all. You have to research that for yourself. According to the scientists, unlike Oumuamua, these space rocks have been orbiting the Sun for more than 4.5 billion years since the birth of the solar system. The asteroid's part of a group of space objects known as centaurs, may have been orbiting another star billions of years ago when stars were much closer to each other. You'll recall that centaurs are horse-human combinations, an interesting moniker for this particular grouping that may be more of a combination of elements rather than just asteroids. The article continues. Fatih Namouni of Observatoire de la Côte d'Azur in France and lead author of the study said the close proximity of the stars meant that they felt each other's gravity much more strongly in those early days than they do today. This enabled asteroids to be pulled from one star system to another. Dr. Namouni and co-author Maria Helena Moraes of the Universidade Estadual Paulista in Brazil, I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly, ran computer simulations going back in time to the days when the solar system was still forming. The simulations revealed the asteroids were orbiting the sun on a plane perpendicular to planetary motion at that time. These objects were also found to be located far from the disk that gave rise to the planets and other asteroids within the solar system. These two observations indicate the asteroids were captured from another stellar system, the researchers said. And if you were wondering what's the difference between an asteroid, a meteor, and a comet, here's what you need to know according to NASA. Take that with a grain of salt. Asteroid. An asteroid is a small rocky body that orbits the sun. Most are found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, but they can be found anywhere, including in a path that can impact Earth. Meteoroid. When two asteroids hit each other, the small chunks that break off are called meteoroids. Meteor. If a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, it begins to vaporize and then become a meteor. On Earth, it'll look like a streak of light in the sky because the rock is burning up. A meteorite. If a meteoroid doesn't vaporize completely and survives the trip through Earth's atmosphere, it can land on Earth, and at that point it becomes a meteorite. A comet, like asteroids, a comet orbits the sun. However, rather than being made mostly of rock, a comet contains lots of ice and gases, which can result in amazing tails forming behind them thanks to the ice and dust vaporizing. Dr. Morales said that the discovery of a whole population of asteroids of interstellar origin is an important step in understanding the physical and chemical similarities and differences between solar system-born and interstellar asteroids. This population will give us clues about the sun's early birth cluster, how interstellar asteroids capture occurred, and the role that interstellar matter had in chemically enriching the solar system and shaping its evolution. The origin of centaurs has been a mystery to astronomers since the first member of the group, called Chiron, was recognized in 1977. Some believe that they may have spent some time in the Kuiper Belt, a circumstellar disk in the outer solar system, before moving inwards. And you also might look up that they are maybe not 12 asteroids at all, or maybe a fleet of some sort. The new work is published in the Journal Monthly Notices of the Royal Astronomical Society. And tomorrow is April 29th, the date that asteroid 1998 OR2 will zoom within 3.9 million miles of our planet. For perspective, the moon orbits Earth at an average distance of about 239,000 miles, so they say we have nothing to fear from asteroid 1998 OR2's Earth flyby on April 29th, while others in the field are a little skeptical on how the electromagnetic effect of the object's proximity might have an effect on our world. We shall see and have to get through Wednesday to know for sure what the outcome will be. Meanwhile, spaceweathernews.com, a great geeky site if you are interested in that sort of news, reported that new sunspots are on the Earth facing disk. All eyes are on their development. Our sun is a critical factor in our world for weather, earthquakes, and more. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Colorado State Project COVID-19 statistics shows now 13,879 cases with 2,485 hospitalized people across 56 of our 64 counties, with Dolores County still reporting 0 cases. There have been an estimated 66,341 people tested and unfortunately 706 deaths in some manner connected to coronavirus and or COVID-19 markers. So that is what's happening at our state level, and we would expect more cases to be revealed as more testing is finally happening. But again, these numbers are not showing a significant difference percentage-wise for fatalities over other influenza deaths, as well as that for pneumonia. The San Juan Health Services, that host a live Facebook streaming interactive Q&A session on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m., has notified the public that they no longer require a negative flu test prior to testing for COVID-19. Locally, in other notices, the Dolores County Emergency Management announced that fire weather watch remains in effect until 8 p.m. tonight, with red flag warnings for high winds and dry conditions. Now that's a good reason to keep your face covered right there. All of the dust and pollen in the air is wreaking havoc on so many right now. And beginning May 1st through the 31st, there's a These Boots Are Made for Walking program, sponsored by Community Prevention, Team Up, Stud, and the Community Voice in Dove Creek. It's an incentive reward program with $40 gift cards to City Market for counting steps during the month. For acquiring a pedometer or enrolling in all of the details, you can call Kay Daves at 677-2894. That's 677-2894. You must send your numbers in each week by taking a picture of them on May 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 31st. You take a photo of your pedometer and send it to 739-3316 and 739-8874. After a long winter of staying at home, later spring is a good time to get walking, get healthy, get vitamin D from being out in the sunshine, and kick up your immunity levels by eating well and staying active. We all can do this, Dolores County. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replay along with news, links, and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. We want to hear your point of view. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, the email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call the station and leave a message at 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or DCTV Daily News page on Facebook. And if you like the program, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.